Yo, think about this for a second. How we interact with each other has definitely changed. We don't convene in SAC anymore, but the campus vibes are very much alive. The Publications Committee proudly brings you Campus Beats, where we keep you informed on the latest activities, bring you helpful tips from your trusted guild counselors, and most of all, we want to hear from you. So, run tell all your friends. So log on, sit back, relax, and enjoy our program every Thursday at 7 p.m. for the latest news and to help you virtually navigate around campus. See you then.
Good evening and welcome to another live episode of Campus Beats. As we quickly approach the month of love, find out all that we have in store for you today on this episode. So let's introduce our hosts for today. First, we have Miss Tamika Thomas, who was here last week. We have Sabrina Mohammed. We have Kendall Vincent, and our guest host for today is going to be none other than Michael Joseph. So welcome everyone to our episode. Just give everybody a brief hi. Go ahead.
Hi guys, good night guys. Welcome to Campus Beats. It gives me a great honor to be here with you all tonight.
Tamika, you want to give everybody a brief hi?
Sure. Good night, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of Campus Beats. We have quite an exciting schedule, so we hope that you are making sure to tune in all the way to the end.
Hi, good night, everyone. As Brennan mentioned, I am Sabrina. Excited to be back here for episode 2. So looking forward to interacting with you guys.
And we have our very special guest from the Guild, Michael Joseph. So last week, I got the privilege of being a guest host, and now we have Michael today. So I'm sure he's excited and he's going to join us very shortly as we go through another episode of Campus Beats. And I'm truly impressed by what's happened last week, so I can't wait to see what's going to happen this week. So let's start with our first segment, which is going to be the What's On.
Welcome to our What's On segment, where we talk all things UWI and its upcoming events. First up on the agenda, we have Calling All Carnival Babies. Though Carnival may be off, Fantastic Friday Fiesta is still on. The Fantastic Friday Fiesta aims to showcase local talents in the areas of literature, calypso, and spoken word. The virtual event will be taking place tomorrow, February 12th at 6 p.m. and it is hosted by the Department of Literary, Cultural, and Communication Studies in association with Friends of Mr. Biswas. The Fantastic Friday Fiesta will promote and highlight local talents such as authors, poets, and university and secondary school students. The event is open to all persons interested in a carnival-themed literary experience. It will be quite an exciting event with featuring guests, Lyrical Master Darren Sandy. You can register using the link provided in your UWI student newsletter. But hold on, the fun isn't over, because the Faculty of Humanities and Education also invite you to participate in their upcoming virtual research and art symposium, the Masonry Reclaiming the People's Festival, on February 24th to the 26th. The conference organizers want to hear from you to tell them what Carnival or the future of Carnival means to you. You can send in your 1-minute video clips via WhatsApp at 368-3507. That's 368-3507 with your name and number for a chance to be featured on why Carnival holds that special place in your heart. Thirdly, the Jamaican Students Association in Trinidad and Tobago will be having their JASA Week 2021. You can look out for prizes and other surprises during the upcoming week with fun activities planned like daily trivia, questions, and Jamaican-owned business showcase. So you can head on over to their Instagram, that is JASA_876, to take part in all the events. Now on to our Valentine's Day special, calling all rom-coms and romance lovers. The Pelican Book Club presents a Valentine's book to movie night this Saturday, the 13th of February at 8 p.m. on Google Meets. They will be featuring the novel and film Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. The invitation is open to all. You can stay tuned to their social media platforms in order to receive the link. That is at the Pelican Book Club on Instagram and Facebook. Lastly, we hope that you have gotten your nominations in for the General Guild elections. Nomination closed today at 4 p.m. So we do hope that you made an informed choice. Now on to more serious matters. Attorney General Mr. Faris Al-Wari will be having an interview with the National Affairs Committee of the UWI Guild of Students for their virtual roundtable discussion segment Stand Up and Speak Out, Combating Crime and Criminality. They will be discussing the evidence bill and other legislation. It will be held next week, Tuesday, 16th February at 7 p.m. If you are interested in joining the conversation, it will be streaming live on the NAC's Facebook page. That's all for what's on at UWI, and we will now be moving on to our question of the week. Do you believe that Trinidad and Tobago needs a change in policies and legislature when it comes to combating gender-based violence? You can look out for the polls to be posted on the Publications Committee and the UWI Guild of Students' Instagram pages at UWI Guild STA, One Guild STA, my bad, and UWI Guild STA PCC, respectively. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's a very important poll. So make sure give us your feedback. Let us know how you feel on the topic, because we know that even more than now, that's a very important discussion that needs to be had. So moving right along, we'll move on to our alumni segment. And today we have with us the very own Mr. Nikolai Edwards, who will be coming to the floor to join us. So let us join me in welcoming Nikolai. Can you hear? Yeah, thanks.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Nikolai. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks. And I must say, I'm really appreciative of the opportunity to join you guys here.
Well, certainly a pleasure to have you. So let us begin our interview. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, one of the things that I definitely want to point out, and I made it very, very present, because I was doing this interview, I was able to find this, and this was when I ran for and was successful as the Faculty of Humanities and Education Rep 2014-2015. So, I mean, I've come a very long way since then. At the University of the West Indies, I was able to study a BA in Communication Studies with a minor in Theatre Arts, and then I moved on to a postgraduate diploma and master's in Mediation Studies, and now I'm pursuing law at the University of the West Indies again. I have served on many committees. I have represented young people. I'm a youth advocate. I've represented young people not just locally, but regionally and internationally, having served on the Commonwealth Youth Council. And as well, I have served in the capacity as an independent senator. And it was really and truly one of my proudest moments, because I was able to represent a youth voice in our national parliament. So more or less, I consider myself to be a servant. I am here to represent, and I just really would like to see the advancement of young people, not just in Trinidad and Tobago and in the Caribbean, but globally, because I think that young people, we have the potential to do great things once given the platform and the opportunity to do that.
Oh, wow. So you've done quite a lot in such a young small time. So quick question, tell us a little bit about your experience while you were at UWI. Like, what was your fondest moment?
Sure. I think, and I've said this before, where UWI allowed me to see myself in the context of a Caribbean man. Because before, my thinking was really constricted to Trinidad and Tobago. And having attended the University of the West Indies, I mean, now I can tell you the difference between a Bayesian accent, a Jamaican accent. I can point out a Grenadian accent. So all of those things, I think, really helped to shape me. the University of the West Indies, and I know many persons have varying experiences. I have as well experienced the highs and the lows being on campus, being a student at UWI. But for the most part, I think that it has helped tremendously in my growth and development. In some respects, it was a platform or a launch pad for me to do various things. But UWI, I think every Caribbean person needs to experience UWI, whether you're doing a one-year certificate or otherwise. You really will be making some great long-lasting relationships. And I just really am very excited about education and the prospects for that. And UWI definitely opened up doors for me. I was able to participate in various events on campus. And I can tell you, I made sure to do my work, but I was also in every event that took place on campus. And it was that whole student and work-life balance, family life balance, and social balance. And I think that UWI offered that, and I'm forever grateful for it.
All right, good. So quick question. What do you feel prepared you for this journey from UWI? Like what things were you involved in that helped to hone your skills and kind of develop you a bit more to kind of prepare you for this moment now?
Sure. But I think first and foremost, it's the education that you receive. It makes you a bit more confident in yourself and your ability and the environment around you. It opened up my mind. Of course, I mean, and I want to balance all things. We may not get enough practical experience at the UWI, and I know this has been a concern of many students over the years, but especially the theoretical aspect, I think it delves deep into understanding subject matter, being critical of your environment, being not afraid to ask questions and to challenge authority. And so it opened up my mind, and I think gradually prepared me to be more confident in my ability and to be as outspoken as I am on various issues. Coming to the University of the West Indies, it can be very, very intimidating. But I think that once you arrive on campus, once you sit in your first class and you have your first day at the UWI, you'd realize just how easy it is to fit in on campus, whether you're hanging out at SEC, whether you may be a library nerd, and nothing is wrong with that, whether it is that you enjoy just the environment that is UWI. I think those things helped me significantly to be the man that I am today. And I remember once having a conversation with the principal, Professor Copeland, and he was saying to me, because I said to him, I think that UWI has afforded me the opportunity in so many respects that I don't think that I would have gotten. And he said to me more or less that all those things were inherent in me, and it's just that the university was able to assist me in realizing those things. And you really realize as a student your fullest potential at UWI. So I think those things characterize the kind of experience that I've had at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus. And of course, we have to push in St. Augustine there.
Definitely, that's a very important point. So what does it mean to be a youth advocate in 2021?
I mean, it's very, very challenging. And you would think and expect and hope that it would be easier with, especially coming off of knowing what youth advocates were like back in the days. So when you had apartheid taking place in South Africa, and the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, was really a center point for activism when it comes to students marching. And we know of McCandle Dagger, and of course, just to make the distinction, it's not the person who this auditorium was named after, but rather he came after that. But more or less, when we think about student movement and Black Power movement in Trinidad and Tobago, it emanated from the University of the West Indies. So you would expect that over the years, it would have been easier for students to advocate and activate on certain issues. I remember back in 2015, when our grades were being withheld by lecturers because they were more or less protesting that they were not getting their back pay. I was that student who led a protest, and on the first day it was probably about 7 persons walking behind me on campus, and I was walking with a bullhorn that I borrowed from Sal Hall where I stayed, so big up to the gargoyles. And I remember the very next day, now that day I took the day off of work to go and protest. I told them that I was sick. Guys, it's never a good thing to lie to your boss, especially when you're going to end up on television the night. Yeah. So the next day I went to work because I had to go, and then there was this big protest on campus where the gates were locked and so forth. Of that, and I took part in several other protests on campus. So that really helped with the activism and the confidence that I have now. So in 2021, a student a role and function in society, but we're still a long ways from being recognized as being an integral part of national and Caribbean development. So that is still the issue that we are grappling with.
Okay. So how do young people get involved in advocacy in other ways? What other opportunities to get involved in, to use their voice and to be able to have that platform to speak on issues that are concerning?
Sure. The first thing that I tell young people is that you have to find a cause. There has to be something that motivates you, that gets you up in the morning, that makes you feel comfortable putting on your clothes and going out there in the hot sun, as we like to see, to demand or to demonstrate. And when you have found that cause, everything after that becomes easier. So in 2021, there are numerous causes that young people can take up, whether it's the Black Lives Matter movement, whether it's women's rights and young girls' rights, even things such as climate change and the environment. I think that the University of the West Indies gives you a good idea of all of the things that are wrong with the world through our classes and understanding, of course, our environment. And it really gives you the information that you can then say to yourself, this is something I can get behind. So to young people thinking about getting involved, advocating, becoming activists and so forth, think about that which in some cases makes you uncomfortable, that gets you furious, that gets you angry, that makes you want to cuss from time to time, because those are the things that you become so very passionate about, and you're willing in some cases to even sacrifice your life for that. And of course, I'm not advocating for anyone to put themselves in harm's way, but it just goes to show how passionate you can become when you have found that cause. So that's the first step, and thereafter, once you do your research, once you start associating with like-minded persons, it then becomes much easier for you to go and really add your voice to an issue in a very meaningful way. And that is the point that I just want to stick there. It has to be in a meaningful way that you're adding your voice. It's not about the party and, okay, we're going to jump up here and just because my friends are coming. If you are there by yourself, just as how I was on campus with that bullhorn walking around by myself and then a couple persons came behind me, you have to be willing to put your neck out there and fight for that.
Okay, so that's some really good advice. I see you mentioned passion, and we know this is the month of love. So what are 3 things that you love or are passionate about?
Sure. Of course, I love young people's vibrancy. I think that, again, we are a group in society that too often we're overlooked. And so because I'm so passionate about young people, me, myself still being young, I mean, thankfully I have 1 more year to still be considered a youth. And then I cross over to that dangerous time of 30, but still at a 20, as 29 at the moment, I'm still very much involved in youth activities and so forth across not just the country but regionally and beyond. Beyond that, I love networking. Very passionate about networking, meeting new people, traveling. I have been afforded the opportunity because of the work that I've been involved in to see this great planet of ours. I've been to places such as Tokyo, Malaysia, Zimbabwe, Nairobi, Norway, and all of these things came as a result of my youth work. All right, I remember being on the Guild of Students, and the then president and myself, Makisi Peters, we were able to go to the Bahamas and represent at the 19th Commonwealth Conference of Education Ministers. And of course, there was a youth forum, and we represented well, and those things really make me feel good about what we're doing. And the last thing, I think just like many other persons, I love my belly. That's a given. So thankfully, we live in the Caribbean, where you get to try so many different spices and flavors, and it's really a melting pot. I mean, here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have things such as roti, and then on the opposite side of that, you may be able to eat a pilau or crab and dumpling. So the cuisine of the Caribbean, I think, is second to none. And because I love my belly, and it kind of getting a little bigger, because, after you cross 25, that tends to happen unless you have really, really good genes. So I'm feeling the effects of that. But so that's it. Food, traveling, and networking, and youth, the vibrancy of youth. Those are the three things that I think I love. I'm very passionate about.
I see that you mentioned food and traveling. How have you been dealing with COVID-19, given that the fact that you aren't able to travel as much?
Listen, I feel like I'm dying inside. My passport is probably wondering if I'm still alive. You understand? Because, I mean, that's one of the benefits, again, mentioning of being an activist, of being someone who's advocating. You get to go to other places and understand their perspective, attend conferences, and contribute. So for me, it was never about simply just attending a conference and sitting in a hotel or what have you, but meeting the people and getting out there. And really and truly, COVID-19 has impacted on everyone, including myself, our mental and emotional state. And it's really a fight to stay confident and positive during this pandemic, because all of us as young people, we have never lived through a pandemic before. So we're now experiencing this. So it is really and truly putting a spoke in our wheel. But because of young people's innovation and vibrancy, I think that we in this state are still being able to reach out and to innovate, because here we are on this program right now. To be very honest, had it not been for COVID-19 pushing us into this direction, we may not have been communicating like this. We may have been in person, all right? But when you do things online like this, you get to have a bigger audience. You get to incorporate a lot more people. So there are some positives to this. And one of the things that I think is a positive that I hope people are dwelling on is that with the push toward digitization and all of these things, we don't want a situation where this pandemic is over and we resort to our former ways of doing things. So I'm really hoping that we're able to continue this trend, because we're seeing governments innovating. Finally, government innovation and the Caribbean, that's an oxymoron, you understand? And we're seeing those things happening now. So in the midst of all the hysteria, the confusion, and the uncertainty, I think that there are many persons who are rising to the occasion. And listen, I can sit here and take a tour of Alaska from the safety and the comfort of my home. I can go and take a tour of the Taj Mahal and so many other places because of technology. So yeah, it's not all bad.
That's very true. So what advice would you give to budding activists now moving forward? For instance, I'm a first-year student in UE. I'm trying to navigate through the college system, but I want to be able to use my platform for something that's good. What advice, finally, would you give to a student like that?
Yeah, so definitely get involved. Had it not been, and I remember having a conversation with myself back in 2014 and really thinking that, I come to campus, I do what I have to do, I go to work, I go back home, and that was just the routine. But I felt as though I was not fully immersing myself in the university experience, and so I decided to join various groups on campus. The first group that I was able to join was UE Stat. I had been a VP for communications for a number of years. They were re-electing me and so forth, and I had an amazing experience being a vice chancellor's ambassador. All right, and I think UE Stat really and truly allows you to connect with other Stat ambassadors across all campuses. So that is something that I would want to encourage people to get involved in. And of course, the guild. Many times people feel as though that in order to be involved with the guild, you have to actually be a guild counselor, so to run for one of the posted positions on the guild. But no, there are various subcommittees. You have all of these committees across campus and all of these groups and small organizations on campus, and get involved. So that way, your university time will be that much more enriched, and it will help with your activism and advocacy efforts. Because again, you are associating yourself with like-minded persons, and get out of your comfort zone. Because if you think about only doing things that you may like, then you would have a one-track mind, so to say. But of course, you have to open yourself to other experiences. And I think that the University of the West Indies is really and truly the best place to step out of your box and to open up your mind and open up yourself to various experiences. So to young persons on campus, you are right now in a very curious position where you have not been to campus for a year in some cases, yeah? So navigating a digital space, none of us would have expected that UE would have gone fully online. All right. None of us would have expected secondary school and all of these things to go online, but here we are right now. Take advantage of it. Don't be sleeping in your classes. Don't be turning off your mic and your camera and you know you're running doing something else. It really teaches you discipline. It teaches you how to manage your time, and it teaches you balance. So there are so many things that young activists and advocates can learn from this moment as we move into the future.
All right, that's some powerful advice. Get involved, get out of your comfort zone. So if we want to be able to reach out to you for more advice, to be able to hear you speak, because you're very inspiring, I must say, and I think that you will be a good resource for our UE students. So how do we get in contact with you or find out, keep up with the work that you're doing? What platforms do we follow you on, so forth?
Yeah, so I am on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, of course, Nikolai Edwards. And as I say that, I want to encourage young people as well, because you are entering into a professional stage of your life. Things like your name, that's something that you really need to guard and protect and to advance in many cases. So many people have all of these weird names on Facebook and all of these things. No, make it easier for persons to find you, especially professionals, so that they could connect with you. So on all of my platforms, it's Nikolai Edwards or Nikolai Jean-Paul Edwards. So you can look me up, shoot me a message. I do respond to messages. I try to be as accessible as possible. You can visit my website, nikolaiedwards.com, and you can get links and contact information there. And I'm always willing and able to assist other young people. It matters not what your political affiliation is, your creed, your race, your sexual orientation. None of these things matter. From the time that I see a young person who is willing to make a difference, who wants to get involved, who wants information, I make myself available, because I know I would not have gotten where I am today had it not been for the support of many others who came before me. So it has to be a scenario where you give back to society, where you ensure that those who have come before you, when you take that torch, you're able to pass it on to others. So I am a full resource to any and everyone who wants to make a difference.
All right, well, there you have it, our very own Nikolai Edwards. Thank you for joining us. It's really a pleasure. And we look forward to more of the great things that you have in store, and we'll definitely be reaching out to you in the future. So thank you for taking the time out to be able to join us today.
Thank you so much for having me. And to the publications committee, you all are doing an excellent job being led by Kendall. And I just want to give my full endorsement and encouragement to continue to do that work that you are doing, because it is necessary. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. So moving on next, we'll be heading to our entertainment segment.
So next up, we have a bit of entertainment before we get into our very next segment. And our entertainment is by our resident entertainment performer, none other than the great Joshua Regallo.
Good production.
Amazing as always. Next up, continuing on the theme of interviews, we will now have a very special interview being conducted by our host Sabrina Mohammed with a representative from the JASA. So let's welcome her, Sabrina.
Hi, good night, everyone. Thank you very much, Tamika. All right, guys, so put your hands together and help me welcome the president of the Jamaican Students Association here in Trinidad and Tobago, Miss Brittany Williams, guys. So put your hands together for Brittany.
Hi.
All right, welcome to Campus Beats, Brittany. Everybody, drop your Jamaican
Thank
flags, your fire
you.
emojis, whatever else to pick up the 876. Okay,
Always.
always. All right, nice. So, Brittany, welcome again. And can you tell us a bit about the Jamaican Students Association here in Trinidad and Tobago?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Just at first, like, just thank you for the invitation from Kendall and the Publications Committee. Right. So, JASA, the Jamaican Students Association, Trinidad and Tobago. So, our aim really is to introduce Jamaican culture to the UWI St. Augustine campus. And of course, kind of reduce the barrier between Jamaican students and other students from other nationalities, allowing them to get to know us and, vice versa. So that's the basis, really. It's just about having a connection, a bond. Because being a regional, it's not an easy feat. It's really not. And to get to know other people, that's truly amazing, honestly.
Sorry about that. Sorry, my mic is muted.
No worries.
So, tell us, Brittany, what is the JASAT week that is happening currently?
Okay, so yes, things are online, but we're still having JASA Week. So JASA Week is actually something that we've always had for the past couple of years, where we showcase our culture in different ways. So now that it's online, we basically had a few events on our Instagram. So we've been having trivia questions about like our music, food, sports, culture, history, and we're having prizes and surprises to the person who can answer all the questions correctly. We also had, well, thanks to my PRO, Chantel Daly, I have to give her a big up, of course. She has helped me a lot on our Instagram, and we also have like a guide. So we have like a guide to show the best places to eat, the best places to visit. So you guys can check out our Instagram, and it's all there. We're also showcasing Jamaican brands because who doesn't want to showcase brands? I know other people are trying to be in a bag right now. It's quarantine. And we just want to support each other. So we're showcasing different brands that we love, other people love, so that more people can, get to know them and support them too. So yeah.
All right. So tell me, how is Prasad Week usually celebrated?
Okay, so while we were on campus for that short amount of time, sadly, usually we would have had, a couple of events, probably a movie night, would have probably collabed with another association. We would always have a setup in the library, basically showing our culture. So probably things about Bob Marley, probably our culture in itself, food, music, just the same things that would be showing on the Instagram, but in person. Yeah, it really saddens me just to think about that. Yeah.
It is it at times like these when I'm like, yeah, we have COVID, so nobody could travel anywhere right now.
Yeah,
On
it's
the
sad.
topic of COVID, yes. So with COVID being present at this moment, how are you at JASAT keeping communication with your members?
Okay, so we do have a group and I do try to speak to them as often as possible. I mean, even separate apart from being a president, as being myself, I try to make sure I'm aware of everybody around me. So I try to keep in contact with my members as best as I can. There's some in Trinidad and there's some in Jamaica, and I definitely try to talk to them as much as possible. They know they can always reach out. We also have things on our Instagram now and then for them to, participate in. Last semester we had our movie night, we had an outreach. So we try to still have, events that keep everything and everybody current. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So, Brittany, tell me, what does being Jamaican mean to you?
The question of the day. It's deep. It's deep. I mean, I feel like I don't know. So I think my favorite thing about it is probably or energy. The people, the vibe that you get. It's just authentic. It's not something you can pay for anywhere, in my opinion. Maybe I'm biased, but it's something that you can't get. Just the energy, the good feelings that you get when you're around a Jamaican is just so very fulfilling. I think. I mean, yes, the country is beautiful, but the people even more. Like we are truly one of a kind. Definitely.
All right, heard it from a Jamaican herself. Okay, so Brittany, tell me, what is your favorite local Jamaican dish?
Well, I mean, I'm a foodie. I'm a foodie. But I think, well, we have, I don't know if you guys know, but in Jamaica, we have like Sunday dinner on a Sunday. I know some countries say Sunday lunch, but it's Sunday dinner for us. And I think most of us look forward to that the most because that top fast food any day. So I think for me, my favorite would probably be like oxtail and rice and peas. That you can't beat that on a Sunday or even at Christmas time. Amazing.
Of you was hungry here, and some of our hosts also. All right. So before we go, Brittany, I just would like you to drop your social media handles in terms of JASA's social media handles, that is, so we could follow your content, learn a thing or two, and even engage with you guys.
Yeah, okay. So for me personally, it's Brits876, BRITS 876 on all social media. Everybody's open to message me. I'm a very open person. And of course, do follow our association's Instagram at JASAT underscore 876. That's JASATT underscore 876. Keep up with us, answer questions, guys. You might win something at the end of the week.
Right. Who knows, guys? Who knows? For some of us who haven't won anything in a long time or haven't won anything in your life, now is your chance. All
Yeah,
right.
guys.
So don't miss out on that, guys. Go to their social media pages and check them out. And Brittany, I would just want to thank you very much for being here with us tonight. I had
You're welcome.
a great time and definitely learned where I can keep up with a lot of things that Justad is doing. All right. So
Definitely.
over to my co-host Michael Joseph.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Campus Beats. So, my name is Michael Joseph. I'm your FST rep. And this evening, with me, we're going to be interviewing the Canada Hall Chair, Miss Kelly Ann Neptune. So, Kali,
Hola, buenas noches a todos. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Good
we
night, everybody. How are you
no
all?
hablo, no hablo. Good evening, Kali. How are you?
I am good. A bit nervous, but I'm good. And you, Michael?
I am fine. But so you start off greeting us in Spanish.
See?
What is your degree?
Can you guess?
Yeah, that's Spanish.
Correct. I am doing a major in Spanish and a minor in international relations.
Excellent, beautiful. So you are the Canada Hall chairperson. So for those
Yes, I
persons
am.
that do not know, Canada Hall is one of those vibrant, powerful, out there, loud and exciting halls when it is we actually have a
Exactly.
hall to be there.
Correct.
How has your experience been, firstly as a Canada resident in past when you actually had a hall to be, and
Mm-hmm.
then now, I mean, we don't have actual hall now, but how has the experience been so far as guild representative of Canada Hall?
Oh my. First of all, I loved my whole life. I appreciated every moment of it. And if I knew that we would have been in this situation now, I would have probably did more stuff on hold. But I definitely loved it. I loved the people. I loved just, going to my neighbor and sitting down and chatting for hours or going there to help with schoolwork or they helping with schoolwork. I loved having potlucks at late in the night when everybody wants something to eat and everybody just have certain ingredients. So we bring all our meals together and we prepare one thing. I just enjoyed it. I really, really did. And I wish I had more time with them because I miss them, and I know they do miss the other residents. To compare to now, being the hall chairperson without a hall is kind of, sad, because I can't get to fulfill my duties properly online, and there's not much I could do, so I'm a bit limited to the amount of activities I can have. And then, how the online world is with the internet and the connectivity and all of that. So there's not really much I could do, but I still try to keep in touch with my residents and have activities with them. I am supposed to have a games night coming up as well as a movie night. Recently, I had a mental health session because I know that this drastic change would have had a negative effect on a lot of students. So I had a mental health session, with Miss Rollox, Dr. Delissa Rollox, and that was really cool. So there
Nice.
is a big difference between then and now.
Well, I'm really glad that you pointed out the effects that the pandemic has had on all of us on our mentals. And I'm really happy how it is you shared about the experience on whole. Because personally, as someone who lives in Trinidad and Tobago and home is not that far away from campus, so I never stayed on a hall. I was always envious and always way, but that sounds like real vibes. This,
yeah,
and
it
then
is. Yeah.
and I know our secretary, Miss Sophia James, she also used to stay on.
Yes, she
So
was a Canada hall member as well.
I don't know. I always thought that whole life is this big and amazing thing, and from everybody that I know who have stayed on a hall, they have shared that. But what is your highlight of living on a hall, so that when it is COVID is done and done, and we can return to campus and return to halls, what would you be looking forward to most?
I guess the activities, we had a lot of balloon fights, the sports days. What else? Interacting with the other regional students, getting to know their culture. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Talent night. I was really excited for our concert, or Canada Hall concert that did not get to play off.
Yeah.
So I would have been, really happy getting to meet the other regionals, I guess the regionals on the whole.
Fully got you. And something that we haven't touched on as yet, but it's very important to state. Canada Hall was always all boys hall, and in recent times it became
Oh, boy.
male and female. And you,
Right.
Miss Neptune, are the very first and so far only chair of Canada
Yeah.
Hall. How has that experience been? And I want you to be honest. We are in a time now whereby we want to dismantle the patriarchy. I agree. And so I mean, to be honest, how has that experience been for you? Was it difficult, to say that I am now as a woman going to be the face of something that has been male dominated for so many years? How has this experience been for you so far?
Let me start with saying, at first, even before I was whole chain, there was this, I guess, issue. We'll call it an issue with the girls being on hall. You know how you guys are, you're accustomed to it only being guys. So when you come and you find females on your territory, it's kind of like, threatening. You're not accustomed to that. You're just accustomed to just males. So there was an issue at first. And then I think at a point in time, they got accustomed to us. And we all sort of lived, in one accord. With regard to elections, and when I became whole chain, I don't think much people were pleased with even when I was running for whole chair and when I won. I don't think much of the males were pleased. And then on the other side of it, there were other guys that saw the challenges that the hall had or that existed on hall, and they were like, we need some sort of change, and if a female have to be the change, so be it. And there were guys that were okay with it, and people still message me up to today and was like, I really wish there was a hall for us to be on so that you could apply this change, because I'm already seeing it virtually. So imagine how it would have been if it were physically. And I do, listen, I feel so relieved and so awesome to hear that I am the reason for this change, you know? So, yeah.
I was literally now going to ask you that. How does it feel to be a woman, more importantly, in this male-dominated world, and to be the one to instill this change, and not only how it inspires yourself, but what kind of
Mhm.
effect has it had on the other females that are Canada Hall residents? Like, I have a friend who would have been on Canada Hall, and I loved going to visit her, and she enjoyed her life at Canada Hall. So, what
Mhm.
has this for you, like personally, being this big change?
If it's one thing with me, I've always been confident. I've always been a outspoken person. I don't let people bully me. I don't let people talk over me. So, you know, I wasn't gonna let the boys intimidate me. And it feels good to know that I'm inspiring so many, you know, females and so many young ladies. Um, as well, like I said before, it just feels amazing to be the purpose for that change. And I think what was one of the main issues is people thought that, especially the guys, thought that when I became Hall Chair, I was going to change a lot of stuff on Hall, and you know, I'm going to stop them from doing this, I was going to stop them from doing that. That was not the case. I noticed that the hall was indeed segregated, and I disliked that. The guys would tell the girls, "Oh, don't go there. You can't do this. You can't sit on that bench. You can't do this." And it's like, why? We are all paying the same hall fee. We are all staying on the same hall. It is one hall. Why can't we all live here equally? Why do you all have more rights here than us? So I was like, you know what? I want unity on this hall. So when I become hall chair, this is what's going to happen. And we are not going to be bullied by the males. We are going to all live here in one accord. And that is how I wanted it to be. I wasn't going to be bullied, and I wasn't going to bully anyone.
Beautiful. And I honestly think that is the kind of leadership we need in our country
Right.
on a daily basis. So I just want to switch up the gears, you know. I am a car guy, so we'll go from first to second now and switch it up.
Okay.
So my question to you, who is Kalyan Neptune? I'm picking up a slight little accent. So where you grew up, what's your background, that kind
Well, it's good that you picked up the accent. No, I'm not from Trinidad. I'm a
of
Tupiconian, a
big,
proud
yeah,
Tupiconian.
a big love.
Yes, correct. I'm a Tobagonian. I was born in Lake Tobago. I am 21 years of age. I am an entrepreneur. I recently opened my pizza shop called Khalid's Pizzeria. Thank God for COVID. I am a singer. I am bilingual. I teach. I teach little kids. I I used to play pan, but I don't play pan anymore.
You're
As
better
I
than
said,
me then.
I'm very, yes, you can say I'm, because I'm quote multi-talented, but as I said before, I'm very outspoken. I'm very down to earth. Um, I love music. I love singing. I love to eat. I'm a foodie as well. Yeah, that's me. What you see is what
Nice.
you get. I don't hide anything. I'm not a fake person. I will tell you as it is, and that's that.
Beautiful. I love that. So I like how you mentioned that you're an entrepreneur because I am myself as a photographer. And
Really, that's
yes.
cool.
So yeah, let me know if you want to do a photo shoot. But uh
Say no more.
say no more. But yeah, I'm really glad that you said that because the university wants our students to be more on this thinking of entrepreneurship in that the
Mhm.
world is going to one whereby, job is unsecured.
Right.
I was at the protest on Monday and someone had a very powerful country.
Mhm.
It's easier to get raped than to get a job. And
Yeah.
that
Wow.
put a lot of things into perspective for me. So
Wow.
if it is you want to succeed, you really do have to have some kind of business idea and things. So I want you to tell me a little bit more about you. What inspired you to get into making pizzas? What is the market like in Tobago? What is your special? What is the handle so we could follow you and get interested?
Okay. Firstly, I do want to agree totally with what you said. It. I would preach to anyone that it's really important that you find some skill or your talent and turn it into a business. Become an entrepreneur. I wish that there were more workshops or people would go to these entrepreneurial workshops because I believe that entrepreneurship is important. And when I became an entrepreneur, I did not know that so many young people had businesses. Like, you have a business? I didn't know that. And it's like, that's so cool because unfortunately, we go to UE, we spend 3 years, 4 years or more to obtain a degree. And then after, it's like, there's no job for us. So, and by the time we do find a job, we forget what we learned, which is so unfortunate. So, it's really, really important and paramount that people at least get your own business, be your own boss, because we can't sit down and wait to find a job or for job employments out here. How did I whew, how did I become an entrepreneur? I am not even sure. I loved baking pizzas. I really love pizza. I love flour. And I used to bake pizzas at home and I would post it and people would be like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. Can I have? And everybody would beg. And I posted
I won't mind tomorrow.
Say less. I posted a picture on Facebook and a girl was like, I would like to order one. How much is it? And I was like, oh, I don't sell pizzas. And she's like, oh, I thought you used to sell. And then the idea was like that, like maybe I should sell pizzas
Why
and see how.
not?
And I made a flyer, and I don't know if it's because Tobago's small or I known, quote unquote, but a lot of people shared it. And in approximately 2 weeks, I probably had about 500 followers on Instagram, and then that soon, thank you, that soon increased to 1,000. And it's like, oh, I can't even begin to describe the support that I had. It is amazing. The support that I had and continue to have, it is beyond amazing. And I am so ever so grateful for the support that I have and continue to have. If you wish to follow my page, my name is Kali's Pizzeria, the business name, Kali's Pizzeria on Instagram. I haven't made a Facebook account yet, but I will soon. And my number is 791-4888.
Nice. And what kind of pizza? What's your specialty?
You can get shrimp pizzas, beef, Hawaiian, pepperoni, vegetarian, chicken, either minced chicken or barbecue chicken.
I need for the evening yet, girl. I'm coming.
Yeah,
I'm playing
yep.
a what, and you can have some across some pizza tomorrow.
Okay, I'll make it no.
So you said earlier that you love music. If it didn't have COVID, we'd have Carnival. Tomorrow would have been Carnival Friday.
Yeah. Yep.
Where would Kali have been Carnival Friday? What would Kali have been doing Carnival Friday night?
Where would I have been? I'm not sure where I would have been, to be honest. I would have been wherever the lime is in Tobago. That is where I would have been.
Did I go back to Tobago for Carnival, girl?
Sorry?
Did I going back to Tobago for Carnival and not stay in Trinidad?
I actually did. I did when was the last Carnival? Last year or year before? Last year?
Last year, 2020. We got away. We got away.
I was thinking about staying in Trinidad, and then I was like, Trinidad kind of unsafe. So I was like, maybe I should come back to Tobago. But I mean, I had a lot of friends that did party down there, and I think I would have been safe if I just kept with that group. But at the same time, I was a bit cautious. So I was like, let me just play it safe and come home. I did that. Yeah. But
you said you love music.
Trinidad, Trinidad Carnival, I do. Because I heard it's so much vibes.
I ain't even play mass yet, and I Carnival, baby.
I want to experience it. I do.
You really should. So my question to you said you love music. You play a little bit of pan. I remember when I played pan in primary school, the arranger fell toilet paper at me. So I never touch a pan after that.
Oh my.
So yeah, that is my little story there. But you say you love music, you love to sing. what do you love to sing? What does music do for you? Because I personally understand how amazing music is for people. So what is your story with music? And who is your favorite artist?
Okay. Firstly, with pan, I haven't played in a lot of years. I still have my pan, my steel pan, but I haven't played in so many years because unfortunately, my pan instructor had died. Mr.
Wow.
Steve Wilson, God rest his soul. And since then, I haven't touched a pan. He was my ultimate favorite. But I really do want to get back into it because I did love pan. It was easy for me to learn. I never used to write down notes, whatever he instructed me, I used to memorize. So I really did love it. With regards to singing, I love singing gospel. I started singing in church when I was about, I guess, 9, 10, around there. And I haven't stopped singing since. I kind of reduced, I wouldn't say stop, but reduced because there isn't anywhere to sing. But yeah, I love singing gospel. I guess my favorite gospel artist would be Tamala Man. I love her and I love Kiara Shea. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that, and because I grew up in church too, so I completely understand. Mommy told me stories of dancing in the aisles in the church during the recessional hymn and whatever. So remember that. But that's really nice and beautiful. And earlier on, you mentioned that you love children and you love working with them and teaching them. And I could personally connect to you because I teach Sunday school and first communion. And I personally connect
Oh,
and I
that's
love
nice.
children too. So,
That's
like,
nice.
what is your ambition? What do you get when you connect and work with children?
Um, First of all, I am passionate about teaching. Ever since I have been about 6 years old and been outside teaching the plants outside and beating my mother's plants, I know that I love teaching. And I was like, when I grow up, I want to be a teacher. And then when I hit high school and I started learning Spanish, Spanish was like plain pan for me. It was so easy. I never took notes in class. So whatever the teacher said, I memorized. I was a top student probably from first form to fifth form. I graduated being second on the merit list for Spanish in Bishop's High School. So Spanish was really easy for me. And I was like, you know what? I want to go back to my high school and be a Spanish teacher. So when I connected with one of the teachers at Bishop's High School, Miss Abini Taylor, we became so close. She's like my sister now. And she invented this program called El Instituto de Idiomas, Spanish Institute. And then we changed the name to School of Foreign Language Association Tobago, so SOFLAT, where we teach children or kiddies from age 3 to right up to adults.
Oh.
So we have camps every summer, every Christmas, every Easter. And yeah, I enjoy teaching. I haven't missed a camp. I think probably one camp I missed because of school at Easter camp. But I haven't missed like an significant amount of camps since we started. And I really enjoy teaching. Like it gives me so much joy to know that I am teaching someone a second language. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, definitely. And I personally now, mommy would have said, learn Spanish, learn Spanish. It's good to have a second language. And now I walk in the grocery and I cannot talk to persons around me. I bounced up a lady in Port of Spain the other day, and she was trying to figure out where to go. And I watched the paper and I saw the thing and I was like, see. And that is all I could say. And then I said see, and she just automatically thought I could say, and I said, no hablo, no hablo.
It's the worst when they hear you speak their language. They get so excited and then they start rattling off. And it's like, hold up, wait a minute.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, since they came here, since the migrants would have come to Trinidad and Tobago, you hear a lot of locals saying, oh, I wish I studied Spanish in high school because look now, look, I can't even talk to them. But it's like, yeah, you know, you see the importance of learning a second language.
Exactly.
addition to the numerous other benefits. But yeah, I would encourage anyone to learn a foreign language.
I
Yep.
got you. So I guess the next business idea now is to start to teach more adults, run a little tutoring system online.
Yes, when I finish with you and I have some time and you will stop stressing
Yes,
me.
I completely feel you.
Yeah,
So
yep.
we talking about Yuri. You just talk about how Yuri has been. What has your life been as a student? I mean, all life or anything life related has its ups, its downs, its highs, its
Mhm.
lows. What has your journey in Yuri been like? And what has been the highest point and what has been the lowest point? Because we all have it, we all share it. I'm not afraid to share. I was in a library crying too at one point. So what has your highs and lows been?
Whew. Um, Being a UE student, how do I even begin? I don't know how we used to go 8 or 7 hours or so in high school to just having class like 2, 3 hours a day, and we still can't cope. Like, I haven't begun to figure it out as yet. But when I started you, I actually enjoyed it. You go to class, you sit down, you listen to what the teacher say, walk back home 2 minutes from school, and you review what you've learned in class, and then you go about your business. But then, 2 weeks, 3 weeks into school, 4 weeks into school, it gets hectic, and each lecturer think that's the only course you're doing, and they forget that you're doing other courses. So they they beat you with so many assignments, and it's like, hold up, but this due already,
Lord
like,
have mercy now.
assignments to do. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But then, when we thought that would have eased up because we're in a pandemic and people are dying, no, it didn't, because my
Mm,
assignments increased to the max. Like, I don't even know how do you even do that. But after I stressed and cried last semester, I was successful. I didn't feel any pause, thank God, and actually did. I think it was the best semester I've ever had. So it goes to show that I guess online works for me. I don't know about other students, but online did work for me, and I just hope that I could maintain that this semester. See, that is my final semester. So
nearly there,
yeah,
we're nearly there.
in that standard, yep, nearly reached.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to hear what it is you've had to say. I've enjoyed it. So as we begin to wrap up,
Mm-hmm,
your degree being Spanish,
mm-hmm.
a fair good majority of us not knowing some Spanish. So to take us out, I want you to give us a little something and teach us a little something. Tell us maybe how to say good night, um, stay tuned, and stay safe. How would we say that in Spanish? Teach me that and let's teach everybody else.
Buenas noches. I think everybody knows that. Buenas noches means good night.
Right?
Ten cuidado, to stay safe, or tengan cuidado, to stay safe. I'm not sure exactly how I would say stay tuned though, to be honest.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
let's say good night and stay safe.
Buenas noches. Muchísimas gracias por la invitación. Thank you for the invitation y tengan cuidado en sus casas.
So, guys, Kali just took us out by saying good night. The most I can do is say buenas noches. Thank you all for participating, and I head back over to Kendall. Thank you.
Ciao.
Hey, good. Thank you for that, Michael. Um, whoa, what's an interesting show that we've been having so far. Guys, how are we feeling? It's a few days before Valentine's Day. I know that give us, Tamika, just remind our viewers of the topic or the question of the week this week.
Definitely. Our question of the week is: do you believe we need a change in policies and the legislature in Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to gender based violence? A question that has been plaguing us for years. It's very unfortunate that we have to keep bringing it up all the time. So we would definitely like to hear from you. You can access the polls once again on the PCC and the Girls Faith Instagram posts. Yeah.
Great, guys. So we're gonna stick up here. We're gonna have a short discussion on that. But next up, we have our next featured guest. I know that we've been hearing a lot about gender-based violence. A lot of things has been happening, and an organization that has been doing some really, really exceptional work on campus, coming from the Institute of Gender Development and Studies, IGDS Ignite. So I am now going to introduce our very, gives me great pleasure to introduce, guys, let's welcome our next guest from Miss Danelle Novella. And I hope I pronounced that correctly. Maybe she would correct us. I'm seeing as a no. So Danielle, and she would have a chat. We're having a chat tonight as we feature our club of the week this week is IGDS Ignite. Good night and
Good night,
welcome to
everyone.
Tamika.
Good night. Yes, a very special good night to our Spotlight Club feature representative, the IGDS Ignite under the Institute for Gender and Development Studies, famously known in and around the University St. Augustine's campus for their activism in feminism, social justice, and their gender equality leadership. We warmly welcome Miss Danielle Novella. Welcome to episode 2 of Campus Beats. I would just like to say thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. It honestly is quite an honor. Now, before we get into the meat of the matter, help me to paint a better picture for others who may not know about IGDS Ignite. What is the IGDS Ignite, or more so, what does the committee represent?
Okay, so firstly, I just want to say thanks for featuring IGDS Ignite. Thank you to the Publications Committee. We're happy to be here and just happy to share what we do. IGDS Ignite is an undergraduate student-led activist group, right? Even after you've graduated, you're free to come back. There are postgrad students, alumni, a lot of persons that come on board in different capacities at different points in life, just to help out and show support. Now, IGDS Ignite fosters a hands-on type experience of activism, social change, and it just happens through active learning and so on. So the members, we call them igniters, they're encouraged to participate in team building exercises, popular action, community, and school outreach. And of course, they gain because, I mean, they would have mentorship from existing activists. There's a lot of networking happening. They're allowed to access the expertise of the IGDS itself, and they diversify their university experience. We have a lot of collaborations with a lot of other groups, both on campus and off campus, and we do a lot of work not only on campus but off campus.
Wow, that is honestly quite a task. It is very refreshing to hear that you all have been doing and continue to do so much work. As you mentioned, you all are active learners and the igniters. I would like to know about some of the challenges that you guys faced, as you know, with the interjection of COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago and with the transition to the online world. How would you say IGDS Ignite has still managed to engage in that activism and to spread the word about everything that the committee supports and getting the message of gender equality and social justice to others?
Okay, so firstly, I would like to just acknowledge we have a team of students that are just troopers. I mean, in spite of everything, they continue to work hard and do their best and come out and support. Yes, COVID is happening. It is an unfortunate reality, but in spite of it, they still show up. A lot of students have had the opportunity to engage in cyberfeminism, feminism online, artivism, using their artwork as feminist activist work. One of the products of Ignite has been the catcalls of UE, and I'm very pleased to say that that's still happening. Students still show up and they're still posting, and even in the most recent activist movement this week there was a lot of choking happening with the protests. So we are still very active in spite of COVID. We still use public spaces as well as the online space. So I don't think that COVID has hindered us in any way. It may have been challenging. It is an uphill struggle, but every step we just keep going.
That is definitely good to hear that you guys have managed to work as a team to still get what the committee is passionate about to others. And aside from obviously the inability to be physically and directly active in spreading messages and doing the work that the team represents and is passionate about, minus the movement to online, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that the team faces outside of the virtual world and having to deal with society and some of the traditional ideas that we hold?
Okay, so off the bat, the biggest challenge I would say is backlash. Whatever we do, whenever we do it, it's a political statement that we make, and it's a personal political statement. There is a feminist saying, the personal is political, and with that comes backlash. Not everything that we say everyone is going to like. It is hard for some people to be faced with certain truths because they are difficult truths, and that's, I think, the biggest challenge that a lot of our students face. A lot of the topics that we engage in, which is the other challenge I'm getting into, is traumatic. Point blank, it is traumatic. Take, for example, what's happening right now. Engaging in gender based violence, engaging in violence against women as a female in our society is a traumatic experience. Speaking out against it, you are putting your fear at the side and having the courage to talk for others and with others and among others for your own security and the security of others. And that in itself, it takes courage to stand up in a traumatic situation, and that is challenging to do. So
Yes,
I think
I definitely agree. But I definitely commend you guys in your efforts. Now, on the flip side, you all have also received, some quite positive messages,
yeah.
especially from catcalls of UE and Chokpak outside of the University of the West Indies. What would you say were some of the strengths that you were able to realize as a team when it comes to innovating and navigating and to educate the students of UE and the general public outside of the COVID-19 restrictions?
I think one of the greatest strengths of everyone on the team is that they have the courage to stand on their own 2 feet and just, put themselves out there for the sake of others and speak out. And just by doing that as a youth and a young person, their voices are heard and recognized, and people come on board to support them. So I definitely applaud everyone on our team for just, that ability to engage others. I think, it takes a lot to do that, and it strengthens each individual as they do it. It strengthens the team when we come together to do it, and each one of us, we build our capacity as we come together. We network, we gain skills. It's not just about coming in front of people and speaking. We have to be educated about what we're talking about. We have to understand the various philosophies that we're engaging in. And there's a lot of, mental educational processes that we are holistically developing and becoming more versed, more outspoken, and just active leaders.
Now that's honestly so good to hear that you all are definite student leaders. This is more of a personal question, but out of all the work that you've done and everything that you've had so far, even up to recently, to you, can you tell me some of the most significant efforts in representation or being a voice to the voiceless that the IGDS Ignite has had so far that has impacted you in any significant way?
Okay, so I think specifically Catcalls of UE. It is an arm of IGDS Ignite. It was born within IGDS Ignite. Some students decided to speak out against sexual harassment in public, catcalling, and so on. And as a Trini woman, I have experienced that from, before I was out of secondary school. And for me, it was very empowering to see my peers speak out about it, because yes, we complain, and we always talking about this, but to actually you know call persons out on it, and particularly call them out on campus, because we still very much live in a society where catcalling is normalized. Catcalling is justified in some instances. Our women are taught to feel like, okay, I'm not that beautiful if I don't go down the road and somebody doesn't tell me in the manner of a catcall that, hey, sexy, whatever. To see students, young women, speaking up and out about the reality that this is disrespectful, this is an infringement on my desires, I don't want you to do this, I feel imposed upon, right? That I think has been one of the most impacting experiences of Ignite. I'm extremely proud of the students that launched it. It's been a space for us all to really vent the issues that we face, and I very much appreciate it, because some of the stories that we have shared, we didn't have that platform to share it before these students decided to launch catcalls. So yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely agree to some of the stories that I have heard and seen through IGDS Ignite, catcalls. It is honestly alarming and disheartening to see that it is a shared experience among most young women in Trinidad and Tobago, as you said, before we, even get into the secondary school. But what would you say are some of the goals that the IGDS Ignite wishes to achieve, apart from everything that you guys have done so far, or in some ways that you hope to further effect change in the policies and the culture of Trinidad and Tobago? This can be whether in the short run or in the long run.
I think for IGDS Ignite, the goal really is to develop in each and every student that comes through the club a Caribbean intersectional feminist praxis, whereby they can take what they know and apply it to any field that they are in to effect change. So we're all about social change wherever we are, from the standpoint that we currently occupy, which is Caribbean, intersectional, and yes, we are feminists.
Wow, that's great. So, as you said, you're all about wherever you are looking for change. So, how can we get in touch with IGDS Ignite and keep abreast of all the committee's upcoming events? Your handle.
Okay, so we are on Instagram, so it's at IGDS Ignite. There is also the Catcalls Instagram page, which is at Catcalls of UE, and of course there is the IGDS Facebook page, right? So you can reach out to us on any one of those, and of course, well, we'd be happy to have any one of you. Everyone is welcome. There's no distinction. Just come along and join.
Thank you. And the most important thing is that it is open to any and everybody. So, once again, we are appreciative of your contribution and giving us some insight into all the good work that the IGDS Ignite has been doing and will continue to do when it comes to supporting and uplifting, both men and women for gender equality and social change and justice through all of your activism and your outreach. We would just like to remind you that your work is seen, and it's important to remember that we need committees like you. So thank you so much, Miss Novella. That's a wrap for our club feature with the IGDS Ignite. We will
Thank
now
you for
return to
having us.
Kendall for what's next on his schedule. You're welcome.
Okay.
Hey guys, what a very interesting night it is, and I would like to see that the comments actually coming through the chat. We have a comment from Helena Stout Joseph, and she's basically saying, please continue to do the good job or the job that you all are doing. Well done. So good night, Helena. We just want to shout to you. Thank you for tuning in to Campus Beats, and continue to share, like, and so guys, our topic of the week, our student vox pop of the week, and I know guys we promised to give you the results of the poll regarding from last week. However, we had a bit of technical, difficulties or challenges per se, but that poll will definitely be posted once again. In addition to the poll for this week, and Tamika would let us just remind us of the question for this week.
Of course, yes. Question of this week: do you believe we need a change in policies and the legislature in Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to gender-based violence? Once again, you can access these polls at the PCC's Instagram page or on the Guild's Instagram page.
Guys, so much has gone on, or so much has happened over the past couple of days here in Trinidad and Tobago, and we're talking about gender-based violence. And what are your views on the topic of this week, Michael?
Some it's been a lot. I have been through a world of emotions from first sadness to then anger to rage. And the hardest thing is controlling it all because there's a lot to feel and it takes more and you have to be very careful with what you say because with technology today you can be crucified for saying the wrong thing. So if I'm taking my time, please don't keep me up. But it's been a lot because in one hand you want to get aggressive and rush anybody that has done a woman something, but at the same time that is not how we could do it. I had an experience this week where a friend of mine, she had to go to San Fernando and literally she had an anxiety attack in the Maxi going to Crep, missed her stop, then got in a taxi to San Fernando and then had another anxiety attack. And to me, it just triggered me and it just made everything more real. Because yes, we've been hearing women saying it time and time again. This is what we go through, this is what we have to face. And we hear it, we understand, but it doesn't resonate. And I think now more than ever, we men are being more aware and more understanding, and it just shows that we need to do more and we need to do better. So personally, for me, I'm not a gender expert or anything like that, but definitely I'm gonna try harder to do whatever I can to improve things. So like on my Twitter, for example, I want to start sharing on a daily basis, highlighting to men how it is they benefit from male privilege to understand that this is what it is you benefit from. This is what women cannot do. This is what they cannot benefit from. Use your privilege to benefit them in some way. Um, I think it starts off that small. It starts off as individual men trying to do something, and as more gets into that, it will slowly make a change. And it really is for men to understand how unfair it is that we have it better. Like I step out of my gate and I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing. I don't have to worry about taking a maxi or a taxi. That, but women literally have to think about: is this jeans too tight? This taxi have a certain man in it. I don't know the driver. I go in here and there. I can't wear this. I can't do that. Like my friend went to San Fernando, and a man had to watch and say, "Maybe you have suckable tools." What is that? That is none of your business. So as I said, and that's it. As I said, it's just a world of emotions. So I think it really stems from us as individuals doing more and doing better, and sadly it would not work as fast as we wanted to, but it will work piece by piece. So it stems from a matter of education. People need to first educate themselves about the topic, because you can't just go there and talk about something. I and all, I'm not confident to talk about the topic because I don't know. Hence why it is, I think, work with the IGDS is even more important. And I could promise you, the listeners, the students of the university, that your guild is going to work for you to do something big with the IGDS to make things different and to really help. But it really starts on an individual basis, learning first and then changing on an individual and then instilling change in others. Back to you, Kendall.
Great. One of the things I really, really want to endorse what you say, and it's very important that as a young man, Michael, that you would come out and make such a powerful stand or a powerful statement as we continue to combat and deal with gender-based violence, and not just gender-based violence, as it relates to and of course we have to be very careful when we say these things. But I really, really want us to not just use this moment And I was having a conversation with a friend, and I've been saying, it's time for us to kind of like stop the high level of sometimes we talk a lot, and there's not much, action, or continue sustain action. So I really want us to kind of keep the momentum, keep the energy, and translate. Yes, it's okay for us to talk, but I think the time for talking has stopped. It's now time to convert that into translate that into action. So when you see a brethren, healing out as smallly as we would
I
like to,
just I just want to
to.
follow up what you said there.
Mm-hmm. Michael?
Yeah,
Michael?
as yeah, you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Michael, we hearing you?
Right, just as you said there, you said it's right. It's time for action, and the time for talk has stopped. And you said it's about continuous action. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have this bad forgetful syndrome or amnesia. Some people, something happens, everybody hot and sweaty about it for a week. We calling for this and we calling for that. We protesting, we rioting. A week, 2 weeks later, oh, that happened. That needs to stop. Like I got
So
home
let
today
us.
and in the
Mhm.
Queasy, there are people gathered in all white, candles lit. If it is we want change, people need to be committed to doing that every week until something happens and doing things. And yes, it as things go on, we might get tired, but we need to continue. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that as you said it.
Creates. It's very important for us as young men and men on the whole to understand that we have to be very careful in terms of what we say and how we say it, and not just how we say it, but really choose our words very carefully. A woman is not our property. A woman is not anyone's property, as a matter of fact. And it's very important for us to really really respect that. And I have a young sister, I have a mom, and we all have females in our lives, and we would not like anyone to treat the females in our life in any particular way as an object. So I do think that we should call each other out. Let us try to continue to keep that level of energy. And I know the guys kind of been talking about it, but let's hear what Sabrina and the others have to say.
All right, thank you, Kendall. And I just want to echo on both yours and Michael's contribution, because Michael said a lot of valuable things in his statement about appreciating the work that NGOs like IGDS, Ignite, and Catcalls of UE do. Also, not mentioning now these are organizations that I know of. For example, TTN, Trans Tobago Youth Advocacy Network. There's Youth Empowering Today for Tomorrow. There's Femin TT, Caribbean Feminist, there's Made TNT. And these are just a few examples of NGOs that has been putting the work out there, has been attending protests and the vigils and so forth, really trying to bring an awareness as to what is happening. And I think that Trinidad has had enough. And yes, this has been happening. So this is not the first time it has happened in Trinidad. It's not the second time. It has been here for a while, and it really should not be. But I think that in this generation, and we as millennials are really taking a stance and really contributing to the cause of bringing awareness and educating not just our folks in our generation, but those beyond us and those upcoming. And I think that that's important for a sustainable campaign to last. I also wanted to mention what Kendall said about now it's time for action. Last year I would have been a panelist on Futsal 868 Corner Talks on the topic of gender equality and inclusion in sports, and that is one of the topics that I would have raised even before we've had this recent uproar of these harassments and these issues happening to our women. And it just goes to show that the work did not begin today or last week. This has been going on. This activism has been happening for a while. Not that it has hit home for a lot of people, even though we may not have been released to Andrea, we can feel her family's pain. I read a Facebook post that said Andrea's father is as strong as an ox because here he has to go and to identify his daughter. Now, how is he sleeping? And so our prayers and our thoughts go out to him and to all of the other families that has had experiences that we never knew about. There's a portion of Trinidad and Tobago's women who have been assaulted, who have been abused, who never reported it because they don't feel safe. And there's a whole other discussion about what does feeling safe means and what does it mean to tell a woman be safe. So just running it up, the education and awareness has to continue as it has been happening. So thank you.
I definitely agree to everything that Sabrina said, especially on behalf of the NGOs and all of the work that they continuously put out against gender-based violence. As she said, this is something that has been plaguing us for generations, and the fight has not stopped on their behalf. And I think it is amazing to see that they continuously fight for us at all times, no matter the frustration they feel that, some things may not be changed. As Michael said, we talk and then we hot and sweaty for a few weeks, and then the situation is forgotten. Maybe 2 weeks after we're talking about something else happens, and then we bring it back up again. I don't see any substantial change, but that does not mean that it isn't happening, especially on the behalf, because they have been working with us for so long and working for us. As for the men that I know, I was actually very pleased to see that most of the men that I surrounded myself with recognize their privilege in a sense, as Michael said, with feeling they don't have to feel any anxiety traveling. When they step into a room, they don't have to worry about what they're wearing and who's looking at them in any kind of way. And these men, they recognize that, and they walk with us. They hear my plight and the plight of other women as well. So we just have to continue speaking up about this situation at all times. Hopefully Trinidad and Tobago can see effective change soon, definitely.
All right. And to add to that, I'm a regional, I guess you can say, ally. So I do echo the same sentiments that are in Trinidad, because we also experience that in other countries in the Caribbean as well. And I feel like our generation is going to be the generation of change, because we're no nonsense. We don't accept what existed before. We're not normalizing behavior to say we're going to continue to allow this to happen. From today on, we're saying, no, we're not accepting this. Male, female, or however you identify, nobody thinks this is right, and nobody's going to allow this to continue. So I think once we continue with that momentum of saying that we're not going to stand for this, this continues, this ends today, we no longer want any of this kind of behavior, that's when it's going to stop. Because behavioral change doesn't happen overnight, but it requires you to be consistent, it requires you to be firm, and it requires you to continue to press until it changes. Because otherwise, next week it's going to happen again. And it may be a momentum and that feeling of, okay, we're had enough. But until you've lived it, until you've truly felt it, it's going to be difficult for you to relate. But if you say that I'm not going to allow it no matter what day, if it's my best friend doing it, then I'm going to approach my best friend and say, this is not okay. And I think we need to get to that point. And with that, that's when things are truly going to change. And I'm confident that this generation is going to be the one to allow that to happen.
Great. Guys, I know we've been talking about some heavy stuff, but it's very important that we keep this message alive and well. And it's very important at this point in time tonight, guys, we have some special entertainment for you. Before we wrap tonight, we have a special entertainment for you. And I know most of you we definitely just need to start feeling the love. So very special thanks and shouts goes out to Freetown Collective. And we're going to give you this special video called Feel the Love by Freetown Collective.
Can I just give me 1 second? When we were
Sure,
asking how we're feeling, when you were asking how you're feeling earlier in the show, I was going to tell you I wore red because I'm trying to feel the love from all now. So I think this song is very fitting. Yes, Vernon. All right, so go back to you, what you're saying, Kendall. Thank you for letting me speak.
Sure. So we have our very special thanks to Freetown Collective. And of course, we want to give you all a special, it's Valentine's week, and we need to definitely start feeling the love in not just our words, but also in terms of our actions. And we at Campus Beats, we really, really hope that you have a very special Valentine's Day with your significant other. And if you're single, no problem. Feel free to love yourself. Feel free to fall
Self-love
in
is
love
the
with
most
yourself.
important love before all else. Besides love for God, self-love, because you can't love anybody if you don't love yourself. So self-love is just as important. Don't forget that. And don't forget about Carnival, you know. We may
Preach,
not
Mr.
see it right
Slap.
now, but as Carnival is the greatest of all.
So wait, before we go to Carnival, let's get to, and we see in our comments coming in as well. But we're definitely gonna feel the love, and then we're gonna be back. Before we wrap tonight, we have some carnival, a little carnival with you, and then next week is our carnival episode. So guys, stay tuned. You wanna stay tuned for that. So
some take this carnival lightly. The way we laugh and dance and smile. How melody rolls out of us like the waves crashing all over the hearts of mankind. If you only knew what we've been through, you would understand how amazing our joy is and what a marvel it is to be a Caribbean.
May your heart find peace anywhere you come from. Coulda up, you coulda down. Blessings on my nation. Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah. This city can't hold me. My vibe's too high, and my heart it told me jump right now. You will touch the sky. Feel my love unfolding like a laughing flame. All who did not know me when not done, they gon' know the name. Million people coming down, dancing to a song. Love is life and life is love. Blessings from above. Can you feel the love that's in the air? Well, if you feel it, let me hear you say, dancing, moving, moving everywhere. If you feel it, let me hear you say, na 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 na, eh na 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 na. Take me to the river, take me to the sea. Wash over me music, bathe me in your melody. We are such a blessed tribe, sweeter than a million bees. People live 1,000 lives and never feel this free. Million people coming down, dancing to a song. Love is life and life is love. Blessings from above. Can you feel the love that's in the air? Well, if you feel it, let me hear you say, dancing, moving, moving everywhere. If you feel it, let me hear you say, na
Talk about Carnival Tabanca. Not like I ever party, but this this made me miss what I haven't experienced as yet.
Well, I was
No, I
honored to
definitely know.
go ahead.
You go for.
I was honored to actually experience Carnival last year, and that was like one of my last memories of Trinidad. So it's something that I definitely hold very close to me. So it seeing that video definitely took me back.
That's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
I last year I played
Heaven, and you
time,
can't even go back.
and it was just such an experience. I like how Tommy put it. Heaven, and you can't go back. But yeah, I played Juve for the first time last year, and it was just such an experience. And I was just so excited to do it again this year. And it's like none. But as farmers say, backyard jam fits. Or better yet, as my favorite artist Bungie Garlin said, all house is rude.
I feel you on that experience in Jive for the first time, but I think that the next carnival that Trinidad and Tobago has might just have to shut down the country because
Maddest
it's
ever.
wicked. Yeah,
Maddest ever.
Yeah.
Epic.
But then we would have had the vaccine and we'd have all been vaccinated and, ready to go
we'll be
again.
okay. Yeah, we will be
Yes,
okay.
it's going to be.
I don't
It's
know
going to
so
be. I just know next fed going to be mad. The first fed after
yeah.
COVID, they need to rent out not part of the savannah, but the whole savannah, because everybody coming. But yeah, I just I just want to say thank you all to our guests that came to Nikolai Edwards being so insightful and informative and inspirational. I know I was there with Nikolai when it is we did the first the Code Red protest through UE, and I was there marching with him, and he inspired me then, and he continues to inspire today. We then had Miss Kelly and Neptune, our Canada Hall Chair, truly an inspiration, being the very first female Canada Hall Chair, continuing to do her thing and her business as well. So make sure you go out and support her. We also had our IGDS representative, Tamika. Just give me her name before I make a
Yeah.
mistake.
Miss Danielle Novella, she spoke on the great behalf of all the good work that the
Yeah.
IGDS Ignite has been doing and will continue to do, as he said.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love the IGDS and experiencing and interacting with them in the past few years really has gotten me interested. And I really would encourage everyone to follow their pages, the Catcalls of UE, the IGDS Ignite page, and really get the information, educate yourself, and let them get the information. Also, remember JASAT, everybody from the 876, all of our Jamaicans, we
Jumper!
love you all. We love you all very, very, very much.
Yeah.
Brother was very fortunate to go there once, and since I really would love to visit JA, as they say.
I
So
totally,
yes, make sure and follow Jasat.
mhm. I totally,
So
as we
follow
talk about
Jasat on their
Jamaica, as we talk about Jamaica, just jumping in there, Michael, I really, really, love Jamaica. I love the people. I love the vibes. And most of you all who've been following me know I'm a big Lisa Hannah fan. So definitely, and she's from Jamaica. So I really, really want to big up Jamaica. For the
always
record,
plugging.
though, in case, just to make sure that persons would have gotten the correct handles of IGDS. And the IG is IGDS Ignite and also catcalls of UE. And you can get them as well on Twitter at IGDS Ignite. So, guys, we want to really, really thank you for being with us, taking us through, being with us for a second week of Campus Beats. Next week is episode 3. Have no fear, guys. We have lots of surprises. We have a lot more weeks to go. And Michael will definitely be with us. Michael is like, family since we were on IG. Since we tried doing the last semester. For those of you who've been following the Work of the Publications Committee, we've been trying very new and innovative ways to, bring forward to you the students, give you that campus vibes, that let you know what's happening And although we're digital and virtual, a lot has been happening. The guild continue to work for you, and we really, really hope that you would share the live, invite more friends. You're gonna be hearing more of us over the next couple of weeks. So this is like a Thursday night chill or a Thursday night vibe. So definitely, guys, thank you for being with us on behalf of the. Just want to big up the entire publications committee, the entire UE Guild of Students. Our president, Mr. Warren Anderson, and the entire team. And guys, we would next week as well, we also head into the very holy season of Lent. So we may have some adjustments as well, taking into consideration the holy period of Lent. So it means that we may probably have 2 episodes next week, but stay tuned, guys, because we have to give you that carnival, and we have to, of course, pay reverence, of course, to that holy season. So, guys, stay tuned to the UE Guild of Students social media platforms to thank you, guys. Brunan?
So I'm definitely hungry, so we're gonna wrap up because I wanted some Calian's pizza and I wanted some oxtails, and they have my belly growling now. So we're just gonna end on a note. We're gonna end with The Backyard Jam by Joshua Regrello. And we hope that you stay tuned and you join us next week because we have more exciting things for you. This is just the beginning. We're taking off. It's going to be even more exciting next week. So join us and stay with us next as we continue through this journey of Campus Beats.
And we must say a special thank you to Joshua Regrello, who has been, like our resident music. Probably soon we should get Joshua on live because I know we've been playing a lot of his music, a lot of the good work, and we have a lot of great talent as well in UES. So it's not just Joshua. We have a lot of different talent, and we look forward to providing that platform for entrepreneurs, our clubs, our talented students of the University of the West Indies. So until bye, guys, from all of us here at Campus Beats. Good night, everyone.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Have a great weekend, guys. Oh, and as Kendall said, this is your Thursday chill, is your pre-weekend pub. So shop with your friends, have a virtual watch party or something, but come on and listen to what we have to say. All right, guys. So see you all in the next one.
Good night, guys. Be safe. Continue to do what you're doing. Stay awesome and have a really great and safe carnival.